Tekken 8 is about 9 days away from being officially 1 year old, and already some people are calling this game the greatest Tekken game of all time, which is crazy. So this comes off of a poll I made a few days ago. I asked you guys which Tekken game do you think is the greatest of all time, is the GOAT. It had over 4,000 votes, and to my surprise, Tekken 8 actually won that poll. Now this video is not based on this poll alone, but it has me thinking, because 4,000 is a lot of votes, and for people to vote for Tekken 8 opens up room for discussion. Like, why is this game being considered to be the greatest Tekken game of all time? It's not even 1 year old. Okay, so let's talk about it. I'll compare the content of all Tekken games and measure them against each other, what really makes a Tekken game great, and just see how each piece of content in every Tekken game compares with the other Tekken game. Now this is just a quick discussion off the top of my head. This is not like in-depth, it's like so much research. I will make a video on that, but I feel as though Tekken 8 needs to age a bit more for me to have that discussion. But for now, let's just have a quick breakdown about what really makes a Tekken game great and how all these factors play into rating a Tekken game as the greatest of all time. Okay, so first let's start with the story mode. Now in terms of Tekken 8 story mode, I think the story mode was good. Not amazing, not subpar, but it was good, and most importantly, it was fun. Like, very stupid and very fun. So back in Tekken 4, Tekken took its story like very seriously. If I remember correctly, the main man Sui Masku had an interview with Harada-san on why the Tekken 8 storyline really just went from like 0 to 100 in terms of like stupidity. It stopped taking itself seriously after Tekken 4. And what I believe he said is that Harada said Tekken 4 didn't really do well, and the feedback they got was that the Tekken 4 storyline didn't really play a huge part in, like, you know, the success of Tekken 4. So it took a goofy route heading into Tekken 5. Now I might be mistaken on this, but if I remember correctly, that's what main man said in that particular video. So with that said, the story mode after Tekken 4 for Tekken in general has been low-key on a downward spiral, but not completely, because Tekken 5 story mode is actually pretty good. So in terms of story mode, I still think Tekken 4 is the greatest of all time. Like, characters had so much depth, almost every storyline was serious, there was no like goofy stuff. Tekken 5 wasn't too bad either. Tekken 5, the base storyline, like the Mishima storyline, was amazing. It was insane, like it was pretty good. A follow-up from Tekken 4, it still had that weight, but outside of that, I think most of the side characters became really goofy. Like Paul, they really messed up Paul, you know, Law as well. So it really said heading on a downward spiral since then. Tekken 6 storyline wasn't that great either. The direction of Azazel, they did know what they were doing with Jin. Of course, Tekken 6 is infamous for having a really, you know, bad storyline, despite being my favorite Tekken game of all time, by the way. But the story mode was, yeah, kind of off. You know, the introduction of Laz as well, people didn't really like that as much. Tekken 7, we all know Tekken 7 story mode was, you know, the reporter was, you know, chicks. But the story was good. Tekken 7 storyline was actually really good, with the introduction of Akuma as well. Taking out the reporter, the Tekken 7 storyline was pretty good. Tekken 8 was okay. Like, there was nothing too amazing about the storyline. It was just the conclusion to, you know, the Jin and Heihachi rivalry, the Jin and Kazuya rivalry, one big finale, one big battle. Now, I feel as though Tekken 8 still has a lot cooking in terms of story modes. I think we still can't judge this game. Like I'm saying, it's too early. The game still needs to age, right? There's still more stuff coming with June, still more stuff coming with Reina, probably, you know, so they still have a lot coming. But just the overall launch story mode was, I think, it was okay, right? It was okay. So in terms of story mode, I would rate Tekken 5 and Tekken 3 over Tekken 8. Offline content, again, we're comparing this with Tekken 3 and Tekken 5, because again, these two games are the other games people consider to be the greatest Tekken games of all time. You know, Tekken 3, Tekken 5. Like, these two games hold the most weight. Almost every time Tekken 3 or Tekken 5 wins a poll on greatest Tekken game of all time. So that's why I'll compare Tekken 8 with these two particular games. So in terms of offline content, again, Tekken 8 does not come anywhere near as close as Tekken 5 and Tekken 3. Now, I wasn't really born in the Tekken 3 generation. I played Tekken 3 when I was like a bit old. I think I was still playing Tekken 5 at the time is when I played Tekken 3 as well. I watched Tekken 3 when I was young, I was really young, like a kid, but I didn't know what was going on. So I can't really say I'm an expert at what Tekken 3 offered. But so Tekken 5 as well. Tekken 5 had Devil Within, which was amazing. It had team battle, arcade mode, survival mode. What stands out to me mostly is Devil Within. Devil Within was insanely fun. Like that game mode, oh my goodness, it was so good. But Tekken 8 doesn't really have any of that, right? We do have Tekken Beach Ball, Tekken Ball. We also have, I think it's called Arcade Quest, which honestly, let's be honest, you only play once. A very good addition for beginner players, but like overall, you just touch it once and won't touch it again. Outside of that, Tekken 8 doesn't really have much going on in terms of offline content, which plays a huge role in my opinion as well. If we're talking about the greatest games of all time, okay, that plays a huge role, and Tekken 8 doesn't really have that much going on for it. We'll talk about customization as well. People love customization. One of the standout game mechanics of Tekken, customization is something that separates Tekken from most other fighting games. Customization has been a legendary addition to the Tekken franchise. It's something that gives Tekken an identity as well. I think it goes as back as Tekken 3 in terms of customization. So if you're comparing customization again, Tekken 5 still clears Tekken 8. Now again, this can be argued because Tekken 8 is currently in a different generation than Tekken 5. Cosmetics are paid now, right? So you don't really have as much freedom as we did back in like Tekken Tire, giving Tekken 6 in terms of customization. So like, how would you judge that? It's difficult to judge because let's say if Tekken 5 or Tekken 6 was paid content as well, it would kind of be in the same situation. But even just the base customization options that Tekken 8 has, it does not come anywhere near as close as Tekken 6 or even Tekken Tag 2. Like Tekken 6 was so good, like bro, we had shoes, I think wrists, like there was so many different customization options that Tekken 8 doesn't even have. Not just that, Tekken 8 doesn't even have the ability to switch default tops with default pants. For example, let's say Jin's Tekken 7 hoodie, the black hoodie with the tactin boots. Let's say I want the Tekken 4 hoodie with the Tekken 7, black pants of the black hoodie. You can't do that anymore in Tekken 8. So that really removes so much freedom in terms of customization, which just sucks. So just that alone is enough for me to say Tekken 8 customization won't ever be as good as Tekken 6 or even Tekken 5, even if they add like a year's worth of customization items, in my opinion. Like if Tekken 8 just fix that issue and then we back in business. But for now, I don't even rate Tekken 8 customization in my opinion. Now gameplay, I will admit from a spectator's point of view, Tekken 8 cooked, right? Tekken 8 did everything Tekken 7 did right and just made it better in terms of spectating. Tekken 8 is very fun to watch. The slow-mo, the hit mechanic, like the hit stuff, the aggressiveness. It's a very fast-paced game and that's what viewers love to see. In terms of gameplay and actually playing the game, now this is a different argument. It's a topic on its own. Some people like it, some people don't, depending on who you ask. Most old school players don't like the Tekken 8 mechanics. Most new school players love the Tekken 8 mechanics. In my opinion, I do like some aspects of it, but I do feel it's too aggressive. A lot of guessing games involved, and that is not what makes Tekken a good game. Like Tekken has always been about movement, getting yourself in and out of situations, making good reads. But with hit, you just throw something out, boom, it puts in your opponent's face and they have to take a guess. So that for me is not fun. For me, Tekken 5 had a good balance in terms of gameplay. I prefer Tekken 6 because combos are fun in fighting games, and Tekken 6 introduced the bound, which introduced really good wall combos and wall carry and all that stuff, just longer combos in general. So for me, that's why I prefer Tekken 6. But the short combos in Tekken 5 were fun as well. They did require a lot of execution. And depending on who you ask, again, most old school players don't like combos, they do like shorter combos. So they would say Tekken 5 still clears. So in my opinion, I would prefer Tekken 5 and Tekken 6 over Tekken 8 gameplay. But yes, I do understand Tekken 8 gameplay does have its perks and it does it really is fun to watch. But like, guys, oh my days, like coming from the other Tekken games, it's a struggle. The guessing games are a bit too much, the aggression is a bit too much. We do need some defensive options, maybe buffing back dashes of movement and stuff like that. But again, it's an opinion, so with all these few topics discussed, why is it that people are talking about Tekken 8 as the greatest Tekken game of all time? Now, there are a lot of things to consider when you talk about this topic or this discussion. Firstly, of course, is recency bias. Right, Tekken 7 and Tekken 8 have introduced so many new players. I think more so than any other Tekken game in the past. So with it said, most new school players have never experienced the previous Tekken games. They've never experienced Tekken 3, Tekken 5, or even Tekken 6. Like if you go back to those Tekken games right now, it's hard, right? Graphics, of course, gameplay has evolved, so you won't really rate those previous Tekken games. But there's a reason why even up to now, people still talk about Tekken 5. People still talk about Tekken 5 Sparky in the goated intro, right? It was just that good, guys. It was just that good. So if you're a new player who loves Tekken 8 that much, I do understand it's what you have right now. And the game is great. I'm not saying Tekken 8 is bad, the game is great. But just try to do some research and go back and see how good 3, 5, and 4, sorry, 3, 5, Tag, and 6 were at the time of their peak. Tekken 8 also does some good things that these previous Tekken games haven't done in a while as well. Number one is bringing out the character's personality. I think this hasn't been done that great since Tekken 4, even Tekken 5. Tekken 5 did have those mini like story interactions where you'd play like a playthrough, let's say like a Bruce playthrough, then after like 3 matches, you'd meet Steve and they would have like a cool interaction. Tekken 5 did that really well. I think Tekken 8 has doubled down on this and given characters a lot of personality. Like this has been one of my favorite things about Tekken 8. So yeah, the online is amazing as well. In my opinion, people still shit on the netcode, but for me, I haven't really, faced a lot of issues in terms of online connectivity. Now, of course, again, it's a different era. Tekken 3, Tekken 5 was years ago, bro, years ago. We didn't even know about online back in the day, so that's a different conversation as well. But like still, we can't take that away from Tekken 8. They cooked with the online mode as well, so it does have that going for it. So like, do you really think Tekken 8 is in the discussion of being the greatest Tekken game of all time? The game is not even 1 year old. Do you think it deserves that title? I want you guys to give me some good reasons as to why you think this game can be considered the greatest Tekken game of all time. Explain, like make me understand, guys. Like make me, everyone that loves Tekken 8 and rates Tekken 8 over all other Tekken games, like talk to me in the comment section. Like let's have this conversation. Now I can go deeper on this video. It's already 15 minutes long. We can talk about more stuff in the game, like mechanics, balancing as well, but that's just a video for a different day, like I said. But for now, I think this is where I'll leave it. If you want me to dive deeper into this conversation, let me know. I'll make a longer video. But for now, guys, I want to hear it from you. Like, what do you think is the greatest Tekken game of all time? And if it's Tekken 8, why, bro? Like, why? Despite everything I've talked about, why do you think this game deserves that title? So anyway, guys, something off the top of my head. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you made this far, don't forget to that like button, subscribe to your boy, and as usual, may the frame data be ever in your favor. GG gang.